Alright, you ready? Hi everybody, and welcome back to Teachers Talk Money, where I help teachers master their money in order to give back to themselves. I'm here with my best friend and companion, Hattie. I was going to film this video in my normal spot where I normally film it, but she wanted to rest there, so she's going to be filming with me today. So today I have for you guys an update on my net worth at the end of the month in September 2020. I'm very excited for this net worth update because, as you guys know, if you've been following along each and every month, for the past 2 months my net worth has been going down, and that is because for the months of July and August I was not working and therefore not earning an income. I had enough money saved to live over these 2 months, but because I was living from my savings, my net worth was going down each month. In July it went down almost $800, and in August it went down by over $2,000. So I'm finally back at work here in September, and I'm finally started earning money again and putting some money into my savings and investments. So we actually are going to see an increase once again. The only thing to note is that for the month of September, I only earned about 3/4 the amount of income that I would have typically earned, just because I only got paid for 3 weeks since starting my job back up again. So without further ado, let's dive into it by starting talking about my net worth in my investments. The first investment account I want to talk about is my Roth IRA. Right now my Roth IRA has a total of $8,580 in it, which is actually down $25 from last month, and that is just from the typical market fluctuations at the time that I'm recording this. Then we have my 457B, which is my employer-sponsored retirement plan. And my 457 currently has $2,823 in it for a total increase of $348. I contributed $360 this month, so just like my Roth IRA account, there was a slight market fluctuation that made it decrease a little bit. But overall it still increased because of that big contribution. Then I have my pension account, which is now worth $7,363, which is up $55 from when I tracked it last month. And once again this month I contributed more than $55 to it out of my paycheck, but again, because of those market fluctuations, it's just slightly down. Now let's get into my savings, starting with my emergency fund. So my emergency fund is now currently worth $5,028, which is slightly down just by $1 this month. And finally, we have my other savings. So all of my savings accounts, which are my car fund, travel fund, gift fund, and my summer money fund, are now worth about $6,787, which is up from last month by $505. So once again, I only got paid for 3 weeks this month rather than 4, which is what I would typically be paid for. And the part of my net worth that was definitely affected by this the most was my savings. I was not able to save nearly as much as I wanted to. But in the future, I know what I'll be able to save now that I know exactly what my paychecks will be each and every month. So let's take a look at all the totals together and see what my net worth changed by all in all. So with all of my investment and savings accounts considered, my net worth went up by a total of $882 this month, for a total net worth of $30,319. I'm really excited because I just got over that 30,000 mark before summer started, and then swiftly dipped right below it once again once I was living off of my savings in the summer. So it's really cool to pass that milestone again, but in a way that will be sustained, hopefully, this time. This makes my total year-to-date net worth change $15,085, which is really awesome. That is already like $2,000 more than what my net worth increased by in all of 2019. So I'm excited to see just how much more we can increase it for the rest of this year. To put things in a little bit more perspective, I made a couple of graphs. This first one shows my 2020 net worth change over all the months that we've tracked so far. And as you can see, it consistently went up pretty steeply from January and up until the end of May. And then in July and August, of course, it went down slightly in July and then went down pretty steeply in August. But here you can see at the end how it is already starting to recover from that, and should just be recovering more and more as we go on through the months, barring any market fluctuations or complications, because I'm just going to be continuing to get paid for this time period. And finally, here's a graph showing my all-time net worth compared to the dates that I've been tracking. And what's really cool about this graph is that I noticed that it's now September. I'm tracking my net worth for the end of September, and when I started consistently tracking my net worth each and every month was actually September last year. So we're seeing a full 12 months of change. And for the entire year, as you can see on the graph, it has gone up consistently and quite steeply, and then you see the little dip when we get to the summer months, and you can see how it's recovered to go right over that 30,000 mark. And what I love about this is you can see where my net worth was in September just 1 year ago. I was just above $10,000. I believe the total was $11,311. So I was just around $11,000, and now I have almost tripled that number, and I'm really, really excited to see that I've been able to make that much progress in just a year. And I should be able to make more and more swift progress, considering that now I have most of my savings kind of locked in and ready to go, and therefore I'm able to focus more on putting a ton of money into my investments. And the reason this means I'll see more rapid growth is because, of course, your investments are going to grow more rapidly than your savings. And this is because the average rate of returns for investments is around 8%, whereas for savings, you're lucky if you can get a 1% savings account at this point. What really makes me excited about this number for my net worth coming in a year after it being only $11,000 is just that I feel like along the way, you definitely start to feel like maybe all these sacrifices aren't for anything, or maybe all the times you messed up are really adding up. But what it shows me is that even though I live in a high cost of living area, and even though I live in a way that I consider unfrugal, meaning I'm not afraid to spend a lot of money on the things that are important to me, rather than trying to scrimp and save at every turn, sometimes it's hard to believe that that's the right philosophy to have when so many personal finance people are just hammering in this idea of frugality and how you can cut costs and how you can save $10 at the grocery store once a month or whatever it is. And I just feel like that does not speak to me anymore at this point in my life, especially now that I'm debt-free and have a consistent income. But I worry that the philosophy I adopted of being unfrugal could maybe mean that I'm not making a lot of progress. But what I'm able to see here is that the progress I'm making is exactly where I should be, and where I predicted I would be just a year ago when I started doing these things. So it means that my plan is working. And it also means that having a plan, for me as somebody with a consistent income, having a plan was more important than just trying to be as frugal as possible. Not only did this make more of a difference in my finances and in reaching my goals, but it has allowed me to enjoy my life so much more. As always, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm honored that you have come back each and every month to watch my net worth update videos. Please, if you have any questions, pop them down in the chat below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you are ready to start budgeting and getting that plan in place so that you can see these increases in your net worth, please make sure to go to the link in the description of this video that tells you where to get my free budget templates, okay? Because I could not have done any of this without my budget. I hope you guys pop back in next week to see my October budget, because it's an interesting one. It's much different than my budgets have been in the past. So please join me back again next week. And once again, do not forget to subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. Have an amazing week, you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.